We're live. Let's see, which camera are we at? Either way, I mean, the lighting today is great. To be honest, I am just doing a little bonus live stream here because I was able to take the day off, spend some family time in my hometown, which is Pocatello, and then I'll go back up to Idaho Falls. But before I do that, I thought I'd just do, like a 30-minute live stream, see who's all out here, see what times are best to stream, and answer some questions here. So, yeah, I'm at my favorite place. This is the brew house. For those of you who don't know, hey Ramsey, what's going on? How's things in your neck of the woods? And this is where I learned a lot of my graphic design stuff. Was actually right here in this coffee shop. And it's great. I'm working on the new video, which is wireframing. I'm all done shooting the video, and I've done a rough edit of the video, and I'm actually halfway through the final edit. It's going to be a really good one. I think you're going to like the this video. It's probably the most involved video I've ever done as far as like React goes. There's like 3 cameras, and they're all integrated into the shot, right, for wireframing. So, bye.
Talk later.
Bye, Sandy.
Okay, bye.
See you soon. And it's great stuff. That's Sandy. She's the owner of this place. There she goes. Bye. See ya. And lost my train of thought there. So, oh yeah. So the next video is pretty involved, and I can't wait to share it because it's my favorite video that I've done. It may not be the most popular, but I'm always trying to get better. Let's see. I see your question here, Ramsey. Give me just a moment to pop this out of chat and see what's all going on. Everything's going well, ready to launch your site. When you do, send it my way, even if it's in a private message, so I can check it out. I love seeing different people's stuff. I'm always looking at the wrong camera, right? I'll either look at this one and not be looking at you, or looking at this one and switch the camera up. Hey, it's hard to keep track when you're doing live streams, and that's all right, right? Do you have any feedback for me on the new videos that are out? Let me know. And if you have any questions that you think I can address, of course, let me know. That's why we do these things. It always takes a little while to get these live streams warmed up. I don't know if I can go for a full hour today, because I've got more things I have to do, but we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. I'm just going to go ahead and share this, because I like sharing this stuff on my stream. 3 people watching, though, within 2 minutes. That's not too bad. Usually I do these things on the weekend, so maybe that makes a difference. But I know that my live streams have been a little bit different. So it's always about learning and trying to find what works best, and then really honing in on that, right? And then improving. That goes with web development, that goes with design, social media, any of that stuff. So that's also something that I'm doing, just so I can kind of explain why I'm doing this at different times. But like today is just a bonus day. So don't expect me to do one at, 3 o'clock here, because I'd be at work most of the time. So just a little bonus video. Some things that I'm working on. I'm currently working on partitioning data and stuff within my current scope. Just basically tightening up the site from going from web design to full on. Sorry about the noise there. Full on development. So the whole spectrum, and it's hard to do. It took me a whole year, but once you understand programming best practices and design best practices, oh man, you can make some good stuff. Even if you're not the best designer or best developer, if you're good at both, your stuff's gonna look really a lot better than some of the stuff that's out there. So let's see here. Ramsey says, not really. I want to get into React, but I need to get JS first. Absolutely get your JavaScript first. I think it would be confusing to do both. Yes. With this new series, though, you can look over a few things before we actually get into React, like wireframing and setting your objectives. Those are all things that carry over in into vanilla JavaScript or jQuery. But good on you for recognizing that. That is something I wish I recognized, and just honing in on those algorithms and basic things that we talked about last time that you were here. So good on you, man. How are you learning those, learning vanilla JS, if you don't mind me asking? Just gonna go ahead and share some of these things here. Oh man, let me go ahead and share the screen. The thumbnail that it gives me to share is not flattering, like at all. Let's see here. Right here, this thumbnail is horrible. So, oh well. Let's see, auto-generated thumbnail. Let's see what we got here. You want to get direct? I think I may be confusing to do both. You're using Udemy. That's a great one. Algorithms, of course, but we've talked about that. Beating that, you know, to death. We understand algorithms. Yes, Ricky, I know. Oh man, I probably talk more about algorithms more than anything else. It's crazy. Oh, a new milestone for me is I hit 2,500 subscribers the other day, which was great. Moving on up, moving a lot faster. Each year, or like each 6 months or so, it ramps up. It like kind of stays the same, and then it ramps up, and stays the same at that level, and then ramps up. It's pretty fun stuff. It's really great that you guys come here and help me out, or rather, I'm able to give you enough value that you decide to stick around. So I do appreciate that, that you're staying here with me, and I'm able to give you some feedback or give you some value. And if you're not getting it, or you want to have something else, or in addition to something, let me know, because it's much more than just a place to post content. It is really part of a group that I think we've become, even though it's small. It's that's really what it's about. It's not so much, look at me, I'm famous, and consume my content. Ramsey says, algorithms get you the job. Yes, they do, but that's the same thing I thought, like, oh, they're only good for getting you a job. But after studying them, after listening to enough people, I finally just dug in and did it, and holy moly, that's what made the jump. Excuse me, that's what made the jump for me. Yes, I knew how to use these things and append things to the DOM and do some API requests, but really, like, algorithms and data structures, just studying those, even for like something like 2 or 3 weeks, if you study those, you're going to have a huge spike in understanding of the language. So I totally understand why they test you on that. Oh man, this was a hard one. Bardo Rodriguez 8. Have you tried CS50X on EDX from Harvard? It's a great course. I have not tried that. You know, I try what I try. I know that sounds horrible, but like, these courses are big, right? And I've kind of got my foundation built for now. Of course, you know, never say never. I'll probably go back. I will go back at some point and then rebuild up the foundation. You do that all the time. But I'm focusing on more like specific things, or evergreen content. So not just like specifically JavaScript, but some things like clean code, soft skills, refactoring your code when you have a project. So that's what I'm doing currently. So something like a course like edX or Udacity, I'm not doing. After this React portfolio that I'm doing, though, I'll definitely be looking at something like that to ramp up my skills again. Maybe going through the Udacity Now Degree React again. As long as I have all my data there, or all my previous work, I'll go through that and get that Udacity Now Degree. So you say it's an intro computer science course, helps a little with algorithms. Yeah, that'd be great. And then what else do they talk about? Like Linux and Windows, and what's the other one? iOS. I should know this. All the different, like, you know, environments that you can be in. That's great too. And you know, you wonder about these things if you're self-taught like me as a programmer, or a computer, or as a web developer, on what you're missing out. So for me, I just looked at all the resources and everything that they say the differences are, and then I'll go and get those. So algorithms was one, data structures was one, security and just HTTP requests and stuff. Like, yes, we know about those, but really digging deep in there. Clean code, writing clean code, and also doing code refactoring and all those things, and keeping that in mind when you design out a project or a program or something like that. So, funny thing, we're talking here, but I just got a notification on Twitter for someone who liked my React tweet. Yay me. David, what's going on, man? Hi, Ricky. How are you doing today? I'm pretty much in your situation when you first started. Got my web design diploma not long ago, but I can't find work here. So now I'm transitioning into web developer. Cool. So you got your web design diploma. Was that through like an online program or like a college? Either way, I totally understand. It was a little bit easier for me because I made sure that there was something that was, it related to something I had to do, or it was like if you have to get a temporary job, but keep your focus. If you still want to do that, that's really what you want to do, definitely do that. And just know that it's going to take time. But I've talked about this before on my interviews about being a web developer and stuff. What's up, Yang? I thought David Miller was you for a minute. Sorry, David Miller. No, David, I actually took the day off to do some family stuff, and I'm here in my hometown, Pocatello, and before I headed up, I thought I would do a live stream and talk to you guys, just as a bonus thing, and here we are. I try not to do the lunch live streams anymore because they're hectic. Like, you got an hour for lunch, race downtown, takes maybe like 10 minutes. It's a small town where I'm living, so it's not hard, but then you got to set the stuff up. That's another 10 minutes. Do it for 20 minutes, hurry and break down everything, and then go back. It's too hard. So no more lunch live streams yet, unless YouTube gets really hard on those requirements for you to be on YouTube. So until then, I try to keep them down to the weekend. So David Miller says, on online learning through a college center for distance education. Oh, that's not bad. The most important thing, though, is your projects, what you can do, what you've actually done, and your personal branding or your marketing. So get that up to speed. Go ahead and do that, and you'll be able to find yourself in a much better position, a much better bargaining position too. But it's a kind of a bummer because it takes time. Either start with blogging, because that's easy to do, and you can go back and show that you have proof that you've done this. And so, like, if you're going somewhere for a job or something, you've talked about this thing, and you can show that you talked about it a while back. So it's not like you just made it specifically for them, or you're making it off the top of your head. Ramsey says, hey Ibis says, do you think Redux state is always necessary? No. From some reason, this is very popular when there are many other ways to manage state. Yeah, the thing is like, if you have like a big application with a lot of state and you need to hold it all in one place, it's great. Think of it kind of like, I don't know, there's a lot of things I could do, and I don't want people to rage in the comments, but say something like CSS, where we have like all these different like little pieces, right, of SCSS. Did I say CSS? SAS. We have all these little pieces that we break off into different files, and then we route them all to like a main CSS file or a main SAS file. And it helps keep things organized. It's like that. It can really help organize state when you have a lot of things. So no, I don't think so. For my personal portfolio project, that's overkill. There's no reason for me to have that. To manage state for like UI and stuff, I'll do that. And that's another thing. In Maximilian's course on Udemy, he talks about that could be overkill. That if you're just using it for UI stuff, local, like internal, like that state on that specific application or that specific file is usually good enough. Ramsey says, or online learning or pack a sandwich. Hold on, let me see. David Miller, not long ago, I can't find work here, transitioning. What's up, Ricky? At lunch. Ramsey says, or pack a sandwich and eat in your car with streaming. Yeah, I could do a live stream, just pack a sandwich and just go in my car and just and eat and like try to live stream. I tried that before. It was just a while ago. It didn't work out too well. But I do appreciate the suggestions. David Miller says, oh, and by the way, look forward to more of your React portfolio. I am in need of better portfolio page, and the React project would be awesome. Yeah, thanks, David. The next one, if you didn't hear, is wireframing, and I've got like the rough draft done. I've shot everything. I'm on my second like go through. So when I edit these videos, it depends on how much time I have and what the stuff is. But I'll go through like a rough draft usually, and then a fine draft. If I have to do like them together, I'll just do like a really in detail like edit. But this is my final edit going through, and I'm pleased with how it turned out. It's my favorite video that I've done, just because it's really putting a lot of skills there. The green screen is up there just for a little bit. You know, I have the animations, and now I'm using in this one I'm using three cameras, and so you'll have to let me know how it turns out and if you liked it or any questions, of course. So yeah. Salsa Dude says, "Hey Ricky, do you recommend to learn Photoshop and Illustrator? I already know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP." That's a long list. I'm currently building my portfolio, but I'm wondering if learning Photoshop is worth it right now. The portfolio first, you know. If you don't have anything or you're looking for a job, get that portfolio up. But Photoshop, oh my gosh, it's so useful. So useful, even if you're not using it for yourself. Let me give you a real-world example that I used for work yesterday. And the way it works is I do, like, there's chunks in our website, right? So I do the front-facing customer website stuff, and then we have like back-end, like business, like application stuff. Still, I get requests routed to me to update the back-end, which I don't have access to, but I used Photoshop. I took the screen, and then I like use a Gaussian blur to blur out like the stuff that I wasn't talking about, and like put arrows and stuff. Now, granted, you could do this in something like PowerPoint or something like that, but I had the extra functionality of Photoshop, like the whole thing, and I can make a mock-up that way, or I can make it for myself, or I can tweak things a little bit. Or if a designer sends you something, you can look at the actual like elements instead of having to guess. You can use like the marquee tool to say, okay, this is 16 pixels wide, or there's 16 pixels of padding. Totally worth it, man. Totally worth it. And it's one of those things that once you learn it, it doesn't degrade as fast as, say, like coding or something. Oh, I just learned JavaScript. If I don't stay on it and actively practice for the next year, I'm going to lose a lot. Photoshop's not like that. You do have to learn a lot. I'm not going to lie, but it's not like as much as JavaScript. And then when you do learn it, your skill stays relevant for longer. Whew. That was a long one. Does that answer your question? Let me know, Salsa Dude. Thanks for asking that question. That was a fun one. That was one that I think needs to be addressed. Maybe I should do a video on that sometime in the future. Do you need to know Photoshop? Whew. I need some coffee. Coffee. How's everyone else doing? Where's everyone from? If I haven't asked, or if you've answered this before, I totally get it. You don't have to, but I always like to know where everyone's logging in from, just to see, you know, where some of my live viewers are coming from. Also, this is great, you know, to get all this interaction. So I appreciate you guys talking in the comments and asking good questions about web development. I'm gonna just check in, see how many people are watching and stuff. I have to say, I think I've already said this, but this lighting is much better than what I'm normally using. So I'm happy to be here. It's like the perfect time of day. I'm always at work during this time. North Carolina, that's right, Ramsey, of course. I'm sorry. How much coffee do you drink a day? Hey, that's a fair question, Ibis. Let me tell you a funny story. The way that my boss introduced me to everyone on the team when I worked there is like, this is Ricky. He loves coffee. Like that was like my introduction. Like, oh, he's the guy who's got a problem with coffee. I probably drink, if I'm at work, 3 or 4 cups, because it's just there. I can just pour it out. At home, not at work, 2 or 3 cups. So probably 4 cups of coffee on work days, and 3 cups of coffee on not work days. Like today, this is my 3rd cup, and this will probably be my last cup. And I have work off. And then tomorrow, 4 cups. And Saturday probably just 2 cups, and Sunday 2 cups. So. And Salsa Dude says, yes, a video would be great. I can see how Photoshop can be useful for front-end junior position. I mean, either way, yeah. And you can totally design without Photoshop. it is harder, but that's what I'm doing right now for my work project. No Photoshop. I'm taking elements that I see and I have to look at the code and then I have to code it up. So it's like piece by piece, like a component, not like a whole, you know, thing done. It's already done. And now I'm just seeing how can I make it better? How can I make these components instead of these static HTML pieces? And I look at the code, I look at Google Developer Tools, and then I go in my text editor, which is Visual Studio Code, and make the changes there. And then refresh, and then edit a lot in Google Developer Tools. So you don't need Photoshop, but especially when you're getting started or you have, like, you're doing the whole thing from scratch, highly, highly recommend, because you're going to be able to see the overview of the entire thing and be able to make those choices first, like planning choices, like making rows. So like say I make like a few components or I make a few sections in the website, then I decide, oh, a lot of these need to be reused. I should make like a global class, like rows or full width row. You already know what you're looking at when you're looking at Photoshop because you've designed it out. You have some of the information there, like how much padding should be here, or how much padding should be there, how big this outline is, and then you can plan better, so you're not writing as much. Ibis says, does high caffeine intake affect your sleep at all? I think it's just a way of life now. I go to bed at like midnight. On average, I go to bed at midnight. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. Like last night, I went to bed at 1, woke up at 7, 7:15, and but a couple nights ago, I went to bed at 9. But that's very rare. So somewhere between 11:30 to 12:30 on average. It's the best time. Hey, what's up, Jenna? Thanks for going by. Like that Treehouse video. Jenna did a review on Treehouse the other day, so check it out if you can. Get some more information on Treehouse if you're looking into that. Ramsey says, Photoshop will help when it comes time to make buttons and whatnot. It will, but not only that, but you have a full layout and like you can see padding if you know how to use the marquee tool. What else is it useful for text? But to be honest, there are better options out there. Sketch is made specifically for like this UI stuff. I have Windows, so Sketch is only available on like iOS, so I can't get it. But I'm okay with that because Photoshop is great. It's not my like everyday tool. I don't do that every day, right? I'm not a UI designer. And I can still get a lot done with Photoshop and still use it for a bunch of other things like editing images and stuff that I do all the time, or things like that. So Photoshop is good to get started with, because you can do so many more things. It's more versatile. It's more widely used. It's like saying, like knowing, how can I say, JavaScript or jQuery, which is like a Photoshop kind of thing, and then would be the equivalent, and then like Sketch would be like the React thing. Highly specific. Ibis says, with purchase under $100, has what purchase? Ooh, I like this question. What purchase under $100 has positively affected your life? General question, not necessarily related to code. Under $100 positively affected your life. I mean, there's a lot, right? I would probably say the biggest thing was when I bought one of my first Udemy classes. I'm pretty sure. I was trying to learn. I had to give a presentation at my old work on Microsoft products, right? And so I was doing this webinar, and so with the webinar, I needed to learn how to speak, and I did that. And that's where I got everything. So it was like $30 or something. I started doing online learning, and I really excelled in what I can do now. So yeah, Ramsey says, "Hey Ibis, a second monitor to use with my laptop." Oh yeah. So if you guys have answers to Ramsey stuff, go ahead and go there. Second monitor can improve your productivity huge. Third monitor would be even better. After that, I don't know how effective it is, to be honest. I have 4 monitors at home, and I find that I can probably get more distracted than productive. It's more distracting than productive because, oh yeah, I'll just have Facebook open on this thing. Then you gotta be like, no. So now the thing just kind of hangs out, that screen. or has Photoshop or something. Oh yeah, I better do this. So yeah, Jenna says Sketch is amazing. I believe so. I haven't used it myself, but I heard great things. And Jenna did graphic design, I think. She's a graphic designer turned web designer, if I remember correctly. So she knows. Just gonna check out the stream here. We've been in here for what, 25 minutes? Well, we can go for a little while longer. No big deal. More than 3 is just showing off. More than 3. Can you give me some context there? Maybe you're not talking to me. Oh, more than 3 monitors. That's right. More than 3 monitors is just showing off. Sometimes I feel like, unless like one of those monitors, you had 3 like monitors, like standard monitors. By standard, I mean, like, you know, they're just the standard way that you lay them out. And then you had one more for documentation that's long and skinny. That looks awesome. I wish I had a monitor like that. Or, I mean, I could buy one, but I'm not gonna. So, if I was gonna do it again, when I build up my next system, I would have like a dedicated monitor, like lengthwise, to read documentation. Hey, Corey, thanks for coming by. What's going on with you, man? Just bonus live stream. I have the day off, did some family stuff, and so I do a live stream in the middle of the day before I head on back to town. I'm in Pocatello, which is where I'm originally from, at my OG coffee shop. So, well, we were talking about who asked that awesome question. Oh, hey, Ibis has asked, what purchase under $100 has positively affected your life? And I had to think about it for a while, but it's probably my first Udemy course, because that's really what set my whole trajectory for my career and online learning, and got me the job I have now, and it helped out a ton. Salsa Dude says, hey Ricky, do you do website reviews? I've done a couple here, like some portfolios. The thing is like, I don't have a lot of stuff up right now myself, so I need to get out my new website portfolio, but I can definitely do it for you if you want to check it out, and we can do it on the live stream. But yeah, walk the walk. Yeah, walk the walk. So definitely, you're currently testing your website and would like to know my opinion on it. Yeah, for sure. I can show you different ways to test and stuff. Not like unit testing, but like if you're just designing like on the fly, you can do it. So Corey says, I wish I had the day off. Hey, Corey, I had to wait a whole year before I got paid time off. So I don't want to hear it. This is my first like official paid time off day ever. Which Udemy course was that? Hey, that's a good question. So just to pull it back, I said my first Udemy course was probably the best purchase I made under $100. Now, before that, I had done a lot of books like the Word Bible or something. I hope they don't ding me for that, you know, YouTube. So hopefully not. But I can actually bring it up. I'll bring it up on Udemy because I still have it. I still remember it. It's a great course. And give me just a moment. I can even tell you who it's by. It's called, it's done by Jason Tedick. He has a book called Rule the Room, basically how to speak and present. So that's helped out a ton. That was where I started. Let's see if I can't pull it up real quick. And if you're asking a question, I'll get to it. I don't see it on screen right now, but we'll see. I think I put in the archived courses. I'm having this internal thing here. He changed the name of the course, but let's go ahead and put that up. Give me just a second. All right, so here it is. This one that says presentations that grow business, put power in your hands, I think is what it was. But anyway, this was the first one that I actually took that positively affected my career. And it's great. It looks kind of corny with the stock photography, but it helped a ton. It helped a lot. This guy's pretty awesome. So there you go. Let's see. Hashim Hashim A. I'm gonna call you that. I'm sorry. It's hard for me sometimes with these names, so I apologize. Hashim says, after learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, how the customer add content to this website while he don't know how to write code? I think what you mean is how can you upload this code? Like through FTP, you can do that. Something like CyberDuck is something you can use, so you can look into those. Or you can do like a hybrid, so even though you know these, you might not even have to make your whole website from code. You can set up a server like IIS or Node, run it on something like Heroku, but if you're using WordPress, you might just use your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in there and do some custom stuff in there. Let me know if that answers your question. If not, be a little bit more descriptive, and I'll see if I can answer it better. Hey, Ibis says, do you have any demographic info on your audience? Yes, I do. I'm curious what percentage of viewers are under 18 here and some other junior web dev channels. Well, for me, give me just a moment. Sorry about the wait. I'm just pulling up my analytics. Most of my channel is geared towards 18 to 34 and more on the older side, like my age group. I'm 29. So let's go ahead and pull these up. Let me go ahead and see. Do I have this on? Oh, good. I don't have this on the screen yet. Gotta keep some of this stuff private. Demographics. I'll go ahead and share this screen with you. Apologize about the wait. All right. So here we go. As you can see, predominantly male. I think like 18% is female, but 25 to 35 is 36% of my audience. Then 18 to 24-year-olds are 21%. That's the main area, and then 35 to 45. So very few in either male or female under 18 years old. But I do have a few that come through here. I know like a 13-year-old and like a 12-year-old. It's crazy because my son is 10, and so there's kids that are my son's age that are into this. So very cool. Let's see. Rodriguez. Oh man, I'm sorry. Hashim. WordPress Drupal. So Hashim, get back to us on that. Ooh, been doing a lot of talking today.
It's just going to improve your immune system. Yeah, I'm not sure I trust that.
So let's see. Oh, Hashim says, let's say I made a website to someone. Later, he wants to add content to this website without getting back to me. How can the customer modify the content of his webpage like that, like they do in whatever? Do you got it? I think so. What you would have to do then is like make some user interface that allows you to do that, which is hard. You'd have to have like maybe some data, like a database that kept information. You could like populate it, like by saving the data or editing the data. You could do all those things by using something like SQL or MongoDB. Like say you have like a page and you could say like edit this or something, and that'd be very hard. At that point I'd just be like, hey, WordPress it up. It's not gonna be worth your time unless you're like a wicked good developer, and they're paying you a lot. Salsa Dude says, I just made this website live yesterday. It's Eris Fence. I'm currently looking for any feedback on how to make it better. Salsa Dude, send me a message or something like that, and we can take a look at it, or just write it out like something like Eris Fence and then space dot space com, something like that. Barad Rodriguez 8. How do you find time to learn to code as a parent. Oh man, you're telling me. Recently I had my first child and it's tough to carve out time. It is. One thing though is that it's me and my son, right? It is a priority, but there's other priorities going on as well. We got to get homework done. We got to make meals. So I kind of structure my day a little bit differently. I spend lunch to get things done. Like, I don't just like eat lunch or something like that. I'm lucky that I'm close enough to work, but it's also intentional. I try to get as close to work as possible. That's affordable. So it takes me like 5-6 minutes to get home. Then during that time, I'll do some work, you know, like laundry or whatever, just the normal family day stuff, and then get all the stuff done during the day. And when my son is doing his homework, I'll do some too, or I'll do something that has to be done. And then from 9 to like midnight is mine. And then I'll wake up at 7. 9 to like midnight 1 is mine. And that's how I do it. But I know everyone's different. Some people have more relationships. I've had to really, it sounds kind of bad, but I've had to really be selective with my relationships with people and make sure they're the best for me, and spend a lot of time focused on what's the best for the long term. So going out with friends or something for like a night out, not always the best choice right now. And you know, you can always get that time back later. Well, quote unquote later, if you're doing things right. And the other thing is like, you're gonna really want to do this or like to do this. So set some time aside where everyone knows like, hey, this is time to work time, whether it be an hour or 2. It depends on where you're at. If you're already like a developer, maybe an hour is fine, or spending like 10 hours a week or somewhere within that frame, you know, give or take a few hours. Ramsey says, baby in one arm, type with the other. Don't do that, man. Like, especially with a young child like that, you know, priorities. But one thing though, like my brother and my sister-in-law just had their baby. He's 2 months. So I'm looking at things that would be most helpful for them, not just like a nice gift. And the carry-on, right? The baby carry-on, where they can carry the baby around and keeps it attached to your body. Do that, and then do your household chores. So you're still with the baby, you're still spending time, but you're getting chores done or something like that. Granted, I know it's not that easy, but trying those things where you can double up. When my son does his homework, I do some homework, or I get some things done at the same time, and then do some stuff at night. When he's playing with friends, it's time to clean up or do something. But yes, I do. It's not like I'm a machine. I spend at least like, I think like an hour to an hour and a half of just like hanging out, relaxing somewhere, like just an hour and a half where I can just sit down, go through my social media, or watch some YouTube videos and relax. Does that answer your question? Let me know. Let's see. Hashim says, last question. After 3 months on Google, after 3 months on Google Developer Challenge scholarship, I've got a full 6-month nano degree scholarship. Yeah, mobile web specialist nano degree. I mean, there's so many like nano degrees out there now. Good for you, man. But I feel like there's a gap in my learning process. Any advice? Algorithms, evergreen content. A lot of clean code, and you're writing a lot of code, right? Writing a lot of the basic code. A Smarter Way to Learn JavaScript. That's a book that we talked about on Amazon. A Smarter Way to Learn JavaScript is great, and he has like a Smarter Way to Learn jQuery. All those are HTML and CSS. It's just about like repetition. And sometimes it's not even about learning. It's like, the way I look at it is like when you're a child or something, because I'm going through this now sometimes. Sometimes you just need to write it out before you even understand what's going on. You need to be able to write out the word, know the syntax, right? Know how to write a function without even knowing what the function is, and then you move on to the next step. I would do that. Hey Ibis says, Hey Ibis says, Maximilian is the greatest front-end instructor online. He's really good. He is, which is amazing. And plus, I saw an interview with him, and he seems like a genuinely good and happy person. He deserves all the Udemy money. Yeah, he got my Udemy money, that's for sure, on his React course. And he also helped me on like a YouTube video on the shopping cart with Node that I had to use some of that information for work. And it was like one of the things, the main resources for me. Traversing Media too helped with Node Mailer. Salsa Dude says, sure will do. I think I'm ready for a junior web position. Hey, the only way to know is try. And go ahead and try if you feel like you're ready, and if you're not, that's okay too. You'll be able to gauge where you're at, you know, and what the next step is. That's another way to look at it. Don't get discouraged or anything. It's a great way to find out where you lie and where what people are looking to hire. Barad Rodriguez says, nice work at Hashim. Good job, yeah, with the scholarships. I'm currently in the first 3 months of an Android Basics Google Scholarship. Sweet. Corey says, what is it like to grow up in a small Idaho town? Yeah, I'll tell you about that. That's a... Thanks. I've wanted to share that, but no one's asked, so for sure I'll tell you about Idaho. I hope you will be in phase 2. He's talking about the Google... I think he's talking about the Google scholarship or the nano-degree scholarship. Anyway, so Corey, being in a small town in Idaho, it's for the most part, I've been in Idaho a lot, or Salt Lake, or excuse me, or Utah, or Provo area, and some Salt Lake. I mean, I don't know. It's different. I will say it's a lot more blue collar, for sure. So, a lot of like blue collar jobs, welding, agriculture, very like a conservative place. And so a lot of my stuff is a little bit different, or my background, it's conservative, very, not a lot of diversity, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just things that I've noticed. College education is highly regarded like everywhere else, but it's engineering is huge, and you know that could be everywhere too, but everyone knows everything about everyone else for the most part, even now that I'm older. But that's also has to do with Facebook. But you can see a lot of people that you knew. I saw 2 or 3 people today in town, and I don't live here. I haven't lived here for a year, and I just saw them out and about, said hi, and that's not uncommon for me to find someone like that. And it's not too bad because you don't have to worry about as many things like. You don't have to worry about like people taking your stuff all the time, and people are a lot more friendly in my opinion from what I've experienced, but at the same time they have a lot of sorry, my brain's going here. Different things, very conservative things, so you got to be able to roll with that. Bye Jenna, thanks for coming. See you later. Does that answer your question, Corey? I also have a couple of videos actually on where I learned web development, so you can kind of go through those. They have a big old Idaho state on it, so you can't miss it. So where I study web development in Idaho Falls, and where I studied web development in Pocatello. So if you want more information on that, check those videos out. How many people live in your town? I think you meant live. About 60,000, and in Pocatello about the same, I think. Sorry, trying to stretch my back out here. Ibis says, then Max, Germany, and some Indian guys. Oh, sorry. Ibis says, have you noticed any difference in code quality from people of different nationalities? No, I have not. Pertaining to online courses, I have noticed American devs often skip over important info and go at us. Pertaining to online courses, I've noticed American devs often skip over important info and go at a slower pace. You mean like from instructors? I mean, no, actually, I've had some really good developers or some courses from Indians. Some of the best courses have been from Indians. Some of the worst courses have been from Indians. Some of the best courses have been from Americans. So it's really been about the person themselves, and your ability to get through their accent too. Sometimes it could be great content and they have a thick accent, and so if you're not able to decipher that could be a problem. Low crime, yeah, it is low crime, but it depends. Like sometimes things fluctuate, and it also depends on the area. So like the area I'm at, little more affluent. So it seems like there's less crime there. So Hashim says, do you guys know that you can get 3 months free at Pluralsight and Linda? I did. I don't know if it's still going on, but that's how I kind of got into Pluralsight. I downloaded Visual Studio Community, and you got like a 6-month free subscription, which was amazing, right? And so that's how I got hooked on Pluralsight. So they might still have that, but I think it's, like you said, it's 3 month, Hashim. So if you have some more information, let them know in the comments. Sorry about the wait, guys. Just waiting on some questions. See if you guys have anything else. If not, I mean, we can wrap this up. Let's see. I think I got a new one coming in here. Oh, there we go. Hashim says, nowadays, 3 months only. Yeah, Pluralsight's good, man. 3 months is a lot still. That's a lot. I think like a subscription is $30 now, so that's like $90. So, yeah, and it is worth $30 for sure. Even though I've said like, hey, some of this stuff gets outdated. Like you're gonna find the most information on programming stuff from Pluralsight online, I believe, in my personal opinion, and it's still worth $30. So getting 3 months, like $90 worth, it's totally worth it. So the coffee's nice and cold now. Cold coffee. Tell you what. 8 people watching. You know, I haven't really shared this other than my personal social media or my personal Facebook account, so this is good. This is a good amount of people. I can keep on going. What, it's 3:40 here in it's 3:40 here in Pocatello, so I can stay for about 20 minutes. Usually after about an hour though of talking, my throat gets kind of sore, and I look like a crazy person anyways for like a whole hour. So I had these people coming by and like, what is this crazy person doing? He's mentally challenged. Ibis says, did you tell your kid that Santa is real? Or did you start to tell him from the start that it is just a story to get children to act nice? No comment. Try to keep it somewhat related to code or something like that. But I plead the fifth on that. Corey says, I really like Ben Solin's D3 course. I've heard so much about D3 for like graphs and stuff, and I haven't really gotten into it on Pluralsight. They are high quality content. Yeah, they've really ramped up that's one thing that I haven't really talked about, is their newer courses are really ramped up in production. So they do have high quality content. I haven't seen anything else come closer. Well, I strive to go ahead and get that kind of like Linda/Pluralsight look myself. So that's what I'm trying to go for. I'm not saying I'm as good as them, but yeah, that's how good they are, is that I want to be like them with my content. David says, hey Ricky, what niche do you want to specialize towards that? Hold on, let me start over. David Yang says, hey Ricky, what niche do you want to specialize towards that the other YouTube coders haven't established? Well, I mean, if you think about it, there's 2 things I'm really known for. Self-education, well, 3 things I guess. Self-education, online learning, and web development. So naturally, in my career, I want to marry self-education like lynda.com and web development. So that would be a great dream, to work with online education and web development and be able to do both, not just on web development, but that's really what I want to go towards. Is self-education, really pulling yourself up from your bootstraps, because I've had to do it, and it's possible. It's hard. But if you're smart about it, you can do it. And some people just need a little bit of a push or a little bit of direction. That's what I needed. And some things like Gary V, simple stuff like that, and going into some of these niches like Simple Programmer, those helped out a ton. Just give me a little bit of a nudge in the right direction and knowing what to do. I actually was on Simple Programmer like last year. I asked a question, did a video, and they took a look at it. And it was about personal branding versus technical skills. You can search that in YouTube and find the video itself, and that helped me realize what to to focus on. Was it my technical skills or my personal branding, or do I need to do one or the other? And that helped me decide what to really focus on. Should it be all personal? Should it be all technical? So it gave me a mix, which I focused about, I would say I probably focused 60% on technical and 40% on personal branding. Let me know if that answers your question, David. If not, try to phrase it differently or something. I'll give you a different answer, or hopefully a better answer. Oh, dude, I gotta stand up for a minute. Sorry about that, guys. Let me see how many people are still here. Got 8 people watching. 8 people watching, 50 minutes in. Maybe I'll go for another 15 minutes, you know? An hour, 10 minutes longer. If you guys have questions, yeah, I'll definitely stay. So if you have a question you've been worried to, or afraid to ask it, now's the time. So David says, thank you for the satisfactory answer. Thank you for responding for me. David Yang says, you going to do any videos on graphic design? Well, specifically, I don't have anything in the how can I say this? Specifically, I don't have anything lined up except for the React portfolio, where I'm going to actually design it out in Photoshop. I do have a friend here who's going to start a YouTube channel. He's a marketing manager, but he's also a graphic designer. So I'm thinking about getting him on the channel. We'll talk about graphic design. But you know, it's up to him how fast that comes out, or something like that. Nice shirt, yeah. Y'all haven't seen, it's my Udemy shirt. I wear this a lot just because it's comfy, and I got 2. Funny story, I told them, like, hey, I lost my Udemy shirt, can I get another one? When I moved up to Idaho Falls, and turns out I didn't lose it, I misplaced it, which is too bad. But now I got 2 shirts, and they were kind enough to give me one, so. And I think I deserved it. I'm sure I've given them a few students due to my videos, so. Anyway. Whew. I'm tired though. It's, what, it's 4? More than half the day's up. I'll tell you what I'm going to do tonight is finish up with the React portfolio, and I'll upload it late at night, and it'll go sometime early in the morning. So if you don't get a notification in your inbox or on your phone or whatever, just come on, brain. Just check back at the channel, because there will be one up tomorrow on wireframing. Which, you know, David, some of that is actually related to graphic design, so that might help you out too. And, you know, it's so much more than just graphic design. Graphic design is like a framing tool, but it's never going to replace great content. If your content is not good, graphic design is not great. And if your design is not great, your web page isn't going to be good. So you got to keep those things in mind. They're all connected. Hey, Ibis says, do you have a nice collection of Udemy courses? Oh man, I'm kind of like embarrassed to show my Udemy. I got a vice. I shouldn't say it's a vice, but I've spent, especially in the last year, my first year in web development, a lot of money on courses through Udemy, Pluralsight, and I was able to kind of mitigate that by doing referral programs. So if you've seen any of those things, it refers you and just gives me a free month. It's not like I make too much money off of that, except for one from Udemy. I think there's an affiliate link. So yeah, I've got a lot. I think I probably have over 100 for sure. I mean, I know at least over 100. So like $1,000 on Udemy. But this is, you know, over the course of a few years. It's not just in 1 year. I can share the screen with you just to give you an example of some of the courses I have. So give me just a moment. All right, so you know, here's all the courses I have. You can kind of see them. I'll go kind of slow. See, 1 of 12 of 52 courses, and then I put some in like archive. So these are ones that aren't shown within my courses. So here's even more courses. So 1 of 18 courses. So not 100, but 70 courses. So So yeah, Essential JavaScript, ES6, a fun and clear introduction. Dang, I should have looked into that. I didn't know I had this. But I know a lot about ES6 now. But when I'm going to brush up on my foundation again, I'll certainly go through some of these courses. Hey John, what's going on, man? Thanks for stopping by. Mr. John, other John says, over 100? Dang. No, we just clarified that it was like 70 courses. And I haven't watched all of them, but I've watched most of them. Hashim says, when are you planning to do this session again? I usually do these on weekends. I know I'm terrible because I don't have a set schedule. I do them when I can do them. Typically on Sundays around 10 is what I've been doing, but you know, I just do them when I have time. Weekends all the time, in the morning here in Idaho. So I've tried to set a schedule before, and I got to get it out. Yeah, I just got to get the content out. So if you're quote unquote lucky, I don't consider myself like, you're honored to be part of the live stream. But if you catch it, then you know it's great. I do at least one every week, pretty consistently, sometimes two. So I try to get at least 2 videos out a week, 1 produced, and 1 or 2 live streams. Yeah, well, that's a lot. Yeah, it is. But it's over like the course of 3 or 4 years, or not 4 years, but 3 years. I really dedicated myself to becoming a professional, because it's hard, man. It's hard to get a job sometimes. You go through college, right? You get the degree, and you learn that you suck. Pretty much, you suck. You don't have any tangible skills, and so I was tired of it. I will do everything in my power to never be in that position again. I want to be highly skilled, no matter where I'm at. John says, not too much, in response to my question of what's up. 2 in the morning and was doing some coding and decided to check YouTube and saw you on. Everything is going good today. Is everything going good today? Yeah. I keep on saying this, but people keep on coming in. I finished the rough edit of my next React portfolio video, which is wireframing, and I think it's going to be a good one. It's a lot more involved. Excuse me. It's the most involved video that I've had so far. Hashim says, what's the time where you live? Currently, it's 3:50 p.m. Yeah, man, John, that's late night coding. I don't stay up that long. I'll stay up maybe till 12:30. So yeah, good for you though. I know like a lot of us who are in development have to do it at night, just because that's the quietest time, right? That's the time when you have the most clarity. The kids are put away, or excuse me, the kids are to bed, and the wife is asleep and all that stuff. So I totally get that. Ibis says, if you could have a sentence or two on a billboard for millions of people to see, what would it say? Oh man, you got some good questions. You know, let's see. Something like, what's your story, period. I can help you share it online. I can help you build it online. Something like that. What story do you want to share with the world? I'll help you build it online. Then a picture of me. Saltus Dude says, for contact forms, do you usually use PHP Mailer? I normally don't have to do that, and where I know Node, it's Node Mailer that I like to use. I don't know PHP, I'll be honest. But in this area, PHP is so prevalent that I'm thinking, gosh darn it, I'm gonna have to get on it. The most important thing though is learning some backend, right? So you know what's going on, then you can move on to a different language. So I haven't learned PHP, Node Mailer. John says, what is your setup like for doing the back and forth? For doing live feeds. I'm really curious how you do back and forth. What are you using to do controlling the webcams? I'm impressed with your setup. Thanks. It's called OBS. And if you give me a second here, I'll flip the camera. Well, that's hard, because then I can't show you this camera. Well, I will. Hold on. Let me flip this around. Let's see here. Give me just a second. Sorry about the wait. This is a Lenovo. I can't even remember what it is because they bought it so long ago. Okay, so we have this thing right here. We have a Samsung GoPro mic, a laptop, headphones when I need to do some monitoring, just to see how loud it is. This is pretty quiet. Coffee, gotta have that. Then we're usually at a coffee shop. Oh, let me switch it around. And this is a, sorry about that. I can't remember what type of camera this is. It's a Logitech, like 920 or something. And I use that. Sometimes I'll use my phone though. But audio is key. And even just having two cameras helps kind of break up the monotony of just having one shot. So there you go. David says, oh wait, I missed some here. Zazadez. I don't think I've seen you post here. Thanks for coming. What do you think about React Bootstrap? I've never used it, but the more like advanced CS gets, or excuse me, CSS gets, the less I find a need to use Bootstrap. You can set these up, and the more advanced I get, Sass and CSS grids or Flexbox. I use Flexbox because it's, you know, that's what I can use. Those two kind of really eliminate a lot of the need for something like Bootstrap. When you're using Bootstrap, at that point it's kind of like, oh, my CSS is limited, and I'm not that way, so I don't use it very much. In fact, I don't use it in any new projects, just because you're kind of like abstracting a lot of stuff away there, and you shouldn't be, and it's easier to get things done that you want done. So let's see. David Yang says, what's the goal for 2018 as a web dev, Ricky? Great. Produce more actual applications. Roberto Blake, if you don't know who he is, he's he's a big influence in the social media realm, like that Gary Vee and stuff. But he put it best as like your first year, like learning an instrument or something, no one expects you to be great, you know, this prodigy, this skilled person, and then you're just basically looking to get better. And so this year I'm looking to actually make a lot more applications. It takes a lot to learn how to put together a full application, and I've gotten there now. I'm not scared of the code. I know enough about programming in general to know what's going on, and even when I don't, I know how to approach it, right? And so make more applications, make a great React portfolio, learn how to make some blog stuff, learn how to do things that solve common problems that are difficult, or there's not as many options out there. I know that's kind of confusing, but there's a lot of things that people need, not just a website, but say like some chat communication or blog posts or custom photography, then put into their web stuff, or video, same thing, like the video backgrounds, and shooting the whole thing, taking my specific skill set rather than just like, oh, this MERN stack, and doing that for 2018. All right, so Mr. John says, I don't like PHP, but it's everywhere. Absolutely, yeah. And that's the reality, right? Some people can be like, oh man, I want to use Perl, or I want to use, Scala? Haskell or something. But that's not what everyone's using. And Vue.js is another thing that a lot of people are talking about, that framework. So you got to take that into consideration as well. And with PHP 7, it's been improved, so I don't see it like going anywhere. so yeah, I agree with you. It's everywhere. Saltitude says, yeah, that's what I thought. I see so many websites that use PHP still, so I decide to learn that first. I mean, Facebook, come on, right? Facebook uses PHP. WordPress, which powers like 70% of the web. PHP, come on, man. It's not going anywhere. But the quality of the content, that's also important. Is the quality of these websites like more than 50% or something? That's something we might not know, but thinking about the other backends like Node.js, is the quality of these websites really high? Thus, will our salary be high? John Hayes says, the 2 cameras is very cool. Thanks for that. I'm definitely going to look into OBS more for sure. Cool stuff. Hey, John, and OBS is free. I did 2 videos actually. If you're looking into doing this yourself on my my YouTube setup, both with camera gear as well as software. It's somewhere in the back. You know, I think we got enough time that I can just kind of show you where it's at. So give me just a moment and I'll pull it up for you, so you can take a look, and you can just go through all the videos too if you want. But you know, while we're here, might as well bring it up. It may take some time though, so you know, if you have any more questions, send them my way, because when you're doing, like, when I'm live streaming, it takes longer to load pages up. It's taxing on the old laptop. Let me see. Oh, fix this hat here. Let me all right. Let's go through some of these videos. What was it?
Oh, then we're okay. You want to give me some money then? Oh, yeah. Oh, I have a retainer in my wallet for you this month.
Sorry about the wait, guys. Here it is. All right, these 2. So I'll go ahead and let's see if we can increase the screen size. All right, too big. See, there's a delay here because it was up slow. So I'm just trying to get the thumbnails bigger for you. Okay, so software for YouTube and gear for YouTube on my channel, and there's not very many views, but I made them specifically to address this question because I had enough people ask me in person and online that I just wanted to have somewhere that I could share that information. So there you go. Oops. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, it's hard to keep these screens organized. Let me see if there's any new questions. Oh, it looks like there are. John Hayes says, do you use Mac or Windows? I'm a Windows guy all the way. I know that Mac has gotten a lot better, but I love Windows. That's just what I started on. And I started my journey on, like, education, online education and stuff through, like, Microsoft Office. So I like Windows a whole lot. Mr. John says, are you planning to go into mobile as well, React Native? I am, actually. After I learn React, I need to learn React Native. So definitely do that. John Hayes says, never mind, just answer my question. I'll watch them after the stream or sometime later today. Hey, man, side homework, you're required. No, but if that is something that you're looking for, I have it up there, so no harm in looking. Let's see, how long have we been going here? An hour and 7 minutes, 11 watching. Geez, I don't want this to end. But I do have to get on the road here pretty soon. Head back on over to Idaho Falls. So I can hang out for about 10 more minutes. If you have any questions, let me know. If you're new here, like I think Mr. John, you're new here, but I don't know for sure. So I apologize if you've been here before, you've commented. Let me know. And let me know where you're viewing from. And even if you're not, you can let me know too, or let everyone else there know what area you're coming in from to watch this. I guess I could ask you guys questions. What is the biggest change that you've seen on my channel within the past 3 months? And it doesn't necessarily have to be cosmetic or anything like that, but like, what sticks out to you most? Is that better? Is that good? Is that bad? What could be improved? Always looking to improve, always looking to be learning. That used to be my old tagline there. So let me know your thoughts on that. It helps me out a ton. John says, you really do deserve more subscribers and views. Hey, you know, this is the way that I view it. It's taken me a while to learn this, but you know, over the past year I've really recognized it. Yes, some of these other YouTubers that do code and stuff may get more subscribers and stuff, but it's about the quality of views and the quality of the relationship with your subscribers or your network. So even though I might not be getting as many views, or my production content might take longer, or my live streams might be more personal, or whatever, right? What is the relationship and the quality of those views that I get? And if I look at it that way, I do feel like I have a good relationship with my audience, and I can be proud of a lot of the content that I put out there. Sometimes you just got to get through it and put out a lot of content, and hey, I get that. Especially with like some of those new YouTube algorithm rules and stuff, I get that. But I can be very proud of the content, and I can show it off to people in the real world and be proud of it, not say, hey, you know, I just do this on the side or whatever. So that's how I feel about it. John says, Philippines. Cool, cool. Salsa Dude says, I'm new here, watching from Virginia, DC. Cool. Awesome. I just love seeing like how many different places there are, because in my area there are a lot of, there aren't a lot of like IT or programmers or anything like that. And if they are here, it's a lot of C#, not a lot of web development, more business applications. So it's so great to be connected to you guys. Hashim says, I'm new here, Egypt. Sweet. Mr. John says, one thing I love with this channel are the course reviews. It does help, for me at least. Yeah, I mean, it is hard to do reviews on courses because there's a lot of content to cover, and there's only so much I can learn, right? But I did kind of like a refresh because I thought, I don't see a lot of these comparison videos, so I should do my own. Or can do these versus challenges. So that was fun. I'm glad that you said that. It's hard to get like a new platform though and be like, yeah, I spent like 80 hours on here and I can tell you the ins and outs. Skillshare was like that, but it's totally worth it. So I have so many platforms that I've done now. Pluralsight, LinkedIn, Skillshare, Udemy. Yeah, I think those are the main ones. I know there's a few out there. Udacity. There might be a few more, but you know, heck, that's like 5 online learning platforms. It's really hard to do more. Once you got like 5, you know where to go for what and which one's the best after you spend hundreds of hours on each platform. So thank you. John says, such a great attitude, keep the motivation up and you're going to be much more successful in the future. Thanks. I think so too. You know, it's not just about, you know, all the views or my YouTube advertising. It's more about becoming a professional and looking at the long term. And geez, you know, coming out of college myself, it took a while to realize that, like, you can't just go for the quick money. So yeah, for sure. I think that it's long term, you know, quality content for the long term. Hey Ibis says, I've been learning a lot of Node lately, and I'm fascinated by how the JS gets compiled to C++. Yeah, that's pretty cool, right? How it goes into like that environment. It doesn't even have to be online, and you can like even do like robotics, like programming with it now, to be executed on the server. Do all backend languages get compiled down to C++ or machine code? That I do not know. I would assume so, but I got to be honest, I don't know the answer to that. So David Yang says, yeah, there's a lot of middleware devs here in Indiana, excuse me. There's a lot of middleware devs here in Indiana where I'm at. Kind of unmarketable when I only know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Yes and no. You got to be so good or so unique that somebody can hire you, or they want to hire you, or even if it's for a project. So how can you build that to help with like your area? Like, hey, like maybe I need to add C# to my skill set, or maybe I need to add Java to my skill set, and then you can frame it like I can build out a web UI and hook it up to the back end or the client end, or no, yeah, the back end or the business logic end, and do it. Corey says, Traversing Media is so good. He is good. I mean, he knows his stuff a lot, and he does like things on everything. Like I remember watching the Node Mailer course, or the Node Mailer video they did, and he's just like, oh, sorry, I put the dots in here instead of plus for concatenate because I've been doing PHP. I'm like, geez, like how many things are you gonna do? Like Angular, React, Node, PHP. That guy's great. I like him a lot. Hashim says to John, yeah, I know this channel is great. It's great. Any more? Let's see. The Net Ninja. I like the Net Ninja when I see his stuff, especially his intro. Hooah! I think he took it out, but the Net Ninja is pretty good too. Fun Function. I don't watch it as much anymore, but he does do a lot of good stuff. I'll watch the short clips that he has on his channel. He's been putting out a lot of videos on Dev Tips channel to keep it active on React. But the problem is, and I did this myself with the React series. Once you get past like, say like 12 videos or 15 videos that, you know, people aren't interested in, it's hard to get caught back up because they have to go through all this content. So you got to really be aware of that. I'm trying to do this React portfolio series and keep it down to 15 videos or less. I really want to aim for 12 at the most. So I don't know how we got on this tangent, but yeah, keep the video short, or keep the video series short at least. Corey says they all get compiled down to machine code, obviously, right? Of course, and but not always C++. Maybe assembly language or something like that. So thanks, Corey, for clarifying that for us. Mr. John says Dev Tips is a cool channel as well. Too bad the owner's busy working at Google. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, that these people have lives and stuff, and it's still great that he put out that content because it's still there. I still have gone there sometimes on some of the old content like CSS animations and transitions, and I went through there and watched some of those videos because I needed to use it for work. So he's got some good stuff that's still relevant today. Salsa Dude says, what do you think learning digital marketing and web development? Good combo. Heck yes. Now, I've learned digital marketing, but I've never really talked about it because I mean, it's never formal or even like intentional, like specifically intentional like this. But all these skills with YouTube, all the community stuff, all the web like HTML and Photoshop stuff was all part of digital marketing. My social media marketing, which is part of digital marketing, right? The video production, same thing. For yourself, it's so good. For me personally. Not just like, oh, I can use this as a skill set to market, but help me get myself out there, especially when I'm in such a small area. It's been so good. Zaz says, Buchanan says, from mobile AI, yeah, I think that's AI. I don't have my glasses. From mobile Alabama, I am pretty solid with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Learning React now. Do you think it would make me more marketable, improving my design skills, or learning PHP? The best thing, if you're already on the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, the easier thing to learn, in my opinion, I mean, it depends on everyone, right? For me, is much quicker to pick up Photoshop. Much quicker. Like 3 months, you'll have enough design if you're actively focused on that. And then you can use that for other things, you know, like your personal branding and stuff. And I don't have enough experience with PHP, but if you don't know a backend language at all, that's going to be very painful, I think, if you're learning it on your own without any mentors like me, or if you have a different brain, maybe not so much. I know these are kind of like on the fence answers, but I got to make sure I'm not leading you down the wrong way. So I think Photoshop, because it's going to be, you can show things a lot more than on the back end, and it will be quicker to pick up. But that's just my opinion. Everyone has a different opinion. Hey, Ibis says, thanks at Corey McAboy. McAboy? You know, I've never found out how to say your name, Corey. So, yeah, thanks, Corey. John Hay says, I'm from mobile too. That's awesome. That is pretty awesome. You guys should get together and talk web development and then tell me about it. Yeah, for sure. Anyway. Are there any more questions? It's what, 14:12. We've been on this live stream for an hour and 18 minutes. One of my longest live streams, to be honest. I can stick around for a few more minutes if you guys still have questions. I'll keep on answering them. You must think this is like a never-ending cup of coffee. I take like the smallest sips to make it last, because your throat gets sore after talking for so long. Salsa Dude says, if you know JS, JavaScript concepts well, it should take you about 3 months to pick up PHP. Yeah, and Telmo Sapio said that too. So pick up on PHP. Treehouse PHP Track is a great course. The other thing is how much like data, like backend stuff are you doing, or how many calls to the database or to the APIs are you doing? If you haven't done a lot, like I didn't do for a while, it's going to be hard. So really know your basics, and then know about HTTP verbs and stuff. That's going to be important. But I'll tell you why. After I learned backend, I really understood the backend too, because I was making like my own API and calling stuff and putting my own database together and calling stuff from there. Holy moly, you'll learn about the entire stack. So, David says, have you done videos over the Adobe Creative Services? All of my produced videos are made with Premiere, Photoshop, Audition, which these are all Adobe products. The animated stuff is done in After Effects, and I've made all those myself. And some of the photos have been edited with Camera Raw. I am a heavy Adobe products user, and I don't really talk about it because I just need to get my job done. So yeah, I almost exclusively use them. I used to be snobby, but no, Corel is great, and Corel Draw is good, but there's a bigger community for the Adobe Creative Suite products. And you know, with my YouTube channel, where I get the ad revenue and stuff, I can definitely justify the monthly cost. I make way more, quote unquote, way more than it costs per month. So, would be nice, but I live in Russia now. That's right, John. John lives in Russia, so it might be a little bit hard to meet up. David Yang says, probably something worth reviewing. Oh, I see what you're saying. Are you videos like reviewing the Adobe Creative Services? Ah, you know what? That's a smart idea that I haven't thought about. Probably is worth reviewing. Zazza says, that's awesome. So just to clarify, John now lives in Russia, but he's from Mobile, Alabama. I didn't get it, so that's too bad. Hey, Ibis says, how do you feel about cracked programs and avoiding paying for the software? Horrible. Don't do it. Not only is it not nice, but they suck. I mean, I'm not speaking from personal experience, but they suck, and that's what I've heard. Totally not worth it. If you need to use something, I guess use GIMP, because you're still going to get the layers and stuff, or Corel Draw. Corel's getting better all the time, and it's much cheaper. That's not to say it's cheap, but it's cheaper. But I mean, where's the subscription base? Definitely. And if you are a student, if you are like a university student, you can get a heavy discount on Adobe products. So keep that in mind. Mr. John says, I use cracked software, really can't afford paying for it. Hey man, do what you gotta do. I ain't it's your decision. So if that's what you gotta do, you know, do it. Yeah. I'm gonna try not to encourage any of that. Try to keep myself censored on that. So let's see, I got another comment coming in. Ramsey says 100% for cracked apps. 100% of cracked apps have malware. That's Ramsey's 2 cents there. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, it has been an hour and 22 minutes. It's 4:16. I have got to get on the road. I'll take a few more questions and then I'll wrap it up. So I'll give you a minute and to get your question in, and then those are all the questions, and I got to get going. Looks like we're not having too many questions, and that's all right. Means I can get on the road faster. Oh, looks like we got something in here. Later, man. Later, David. Thanks for coming by. Always appreciate it when you come through. So yeah, thanks for all the questions. I will try my best to keep up this work. I'm glad you think it's good. Keep a lookout. Feels like I'm hustling my courses or my videos. Keep a lookout for that React portfolio. I'll have it out either late tonight or early in the morning. So let me know what you think. John says, when will you be on again? My next video upload, I just told you about that. I'm going to be on Sunday, for sure. Sunday morning, 10 p.m. Idaho time. Around that time, I'll be on again. Hashim says, thanks for your time. I hope I will catch you again. Me too, man. Zanzez says, thank you so much. Really appreciate the time and effort and feedback. My pleasure. That's what these live streams are for. To answer questions and talk about web development. It's fun. Salsa Dude says, thank you for your time. John says, bye, sir. Thanks for the effort. Thank you for putting in the effort. Ask some questions and comments. That helps a ton with my channel, and also helps grow a relationship with you guys, the audience. All right then. Well, I will go ahead and wrap it up here. And thanks for coming by, guys. Later.